Once upon a time, we got a comment on the channel. I want to say it was either on the Splat Pack video or one of the SpongeBob ones that asked us to look at this Nickelodeon kart racer that's pretty unknown. Already, that's pretty interesting to me because I always like to find out about new stuff. But you add in that it's a PC game from the mid-2000s and I have to do a video on it, eventually. Because there's no jank like PC jank, and that's always fun to make a video about, which is what I thought going into this game. Turns out it's a mid-2000s PC game through and through because running this on modern computers was actually a fool's gambit. But the game is alright, not worth the trouble I was going through, but alright nonetheless. But you might be wondering what happened, and if not, my bad. You might want to skip past this part because I might rant for an indeterminate amount of time. Look, as far as I could tell, something about it playing on a modern computer past Windows ME makes this game take years to load assets, and that's even if you get to the start screen. I'd say about 40% of the time you're lucky to see the THQ logo rather than a black screen where you kind of just contemplate your existence. It also eats your mouse cursor, so you have to Alt-Tab and flail your mouse around until the cursor shows up in Task Manager. And if you manage to get past that into the start screen, then the real fun begins. Every time you click into the next menu, you have to wait, no exceptions. You know you're close to the next menu though when new music or a voice line starts to play. Don't get me wrong though, there is only one song for the menus and it's pretty haunting. I get tears in my eyes when that high-pitched instrument comes in, but that's because I'm losing my hearing. If you make it to the character select, it'll freeze every time you hover over a character, so you better pick before you start moving your mouse. And once you pick your character, that's it. Time to turn the game off because no one has the patience to wait for this game to load. I even got to a point where I heard the music for the new level, but it took so long that I didn't even see the stage. I think I waited 30 minutes just at this part, and that's not even counting the hour I waited to get here. Why did I wait so long before giving up? Well, sunk cost fallacy, plain and simple. And even that has a limit. And that would have been the end of the story. I would have scrapped the video and tried something else because I was so tilted, but I looked it up one more time on YouTube in an act of pure desperation, and lo and behold, there was an angel in the comments. They said to use a virtual machine, and that's what I did. I got a not stolen key from eBay for a virtual machine and tried the game again. When you know it, the game worked flawlessly. So now with all that out of the way, let's actually look at the game. So this game is kind of interesting just because of what it is. And by that, I mean I have no idea what's going on with this game. See, allegedly this is a sequel to the Nicktoons racing game on PS1, which is a pretty good game. Or at least the GBA version of it is, because that's the one I played. But the thing is, only one of the shows from that game is here, and of course it's SpongeBob, because who doesn't love SpongeBob? Even stranger still, the character choices start to make sense when you realize that Nicktoons Winners Cup Racing came out the same year as Nicktoons Unite, another game I should probably do a video on. I did not realize there were so many Nicktoons Unite games, by the way. What was the last one called? SpongeBob and Nicktoons? That's pretty foul. But yeah, we have SpongeBob, Danny, Timmy, and Jimmy along with their villains, just like Unite. So again, what is this game? Is it a sequel or is it a tie-in game? There's no story here, so I can't glean anything from that. This feels way more tacked together than Nicktoons Racing since there are way less levels here and less series in this game. Maybe they saw Nicktoons Unite coming out and wanted to do something for PC as well, get a couple extra dollars and cash in on a popular game, kind of like how I decided to do videos. By the way, get ready for a video about, yeah. At the end of the day, this game is pretty simple and jank, which is par for the course for any given PC game during this time. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay this time. Gameplay is extremely simple. Like the SpongeBob Movie Flash game on Nickelodeon has about the same level of gameplay. In fact, if this was on their site as a Flash game, I wouldn't be surprised at all. You only need 5 buttons to play this game, up, down, left, right, and space to use power-ups. There's no drifting or anything like that, so once you figure out the optimal routes, you're set. What that does mean though is that this game is straight up worse than the previous game. Driving the cars just feels bad. Like, I never felt fully in control of my car, especially when I was turning. It turns on a dime and it sickens me. It feels like playing a top-down racing game, but it's not top-down and it's also bad. With the top-down perspective, I can at least survey the field and not get lost, which happens all the time here. So I mentioned power-ups, and there are 3 that I saw. One is the speed boost, another freezes your controls so you're barreling ahead, and the last one sends you to the heavens, effectively taking you out of the race if it hits you the right way. There's also ridges lying around, but that's for a different mechanic. Throughout the race, all that slamming into obstacles and other cars can do some real damage, game-losing damage. If you've noticed, there's like a red bar in your speedometer going up every time you get hit. It lowers your max speed and can bring your car to a crawl. The wrenches repair your car, but their spawn seems completely random. It makes no sense whatsoever. And as for the actual racing, you just ride through the green checkpoints until you're done. And it's only one lap because the sooner you're done, the better, I guess. There's an arrow that guides you to the next checkpoint, but I swear it barely helps. Also, there's no right road, so you have to figure it out for yourself. In the Jimmy level, I thought I went the right way, but it made me go the opposite direction the next checkpoint. I really wish there was a mini-map or something. I mean, if you play on easy, it does guide you, but I'm not picking easy in a kid's game. Who do you think I am? The funny thing though is that the AI cannot figure out how to navigate the map. There are times where they'll take a shortcut only to miss the checkpoint, meaning that they have to turn around. I definitely didn't expect that at all. And that's about it for the gameplay. Like I said, it's pretty simple, but I didn't expect much. The best and most interesting thing about this game are the 4 stages, so let's look at each one of them. Starting off the pack, we land in Amityville, home to Danny Phantom. This is definitely the weakest stage of the 4 because it's the simplest, therefore it's the easiest to navigate. It makes sense though, since this is the first stage and you can't just be throwing new players into Retroville or literally any other map. That would be crazy. The most notable thing here is that there's a graveyard at the start and you can't even go through it. There's also a ramp that's a speed boost, but once you get on it, you give up any semblance of control since it locks your direction. So unless you actually angle it right, you just fly into a wall. Next up is Bikini Bottom, and I guess it's my favorite stage. It's pretty cool how you go around the place. It feels the most like its setting, even if the stage isn't really accurate. And by that, I mean not even close to similar at all. Jesus. I think it feels accurate because it's so distinct from the other stages by virtue of being under the sea, so it can't look like any other city. With that said, the Bikini Bottom level is a city of its own. I call it Bubble City. See, there's a section where there are a not good amount of bubbles and they act exactly like the power-ups. They send you flying and it's super annoying because it's out of turn. I know bubbles are a thing in SpongeBob, but goddamn do I die a little every time I run into it. At least the AI are also atrocious at handling it. Dimsdale is a hellhole and completely random, or at least it feels that way. The gimmick of Dimsdale is that there are portals that take you in and out of Fairyland. Fairy World? The thing is that with the open-ended nature of these levels, the portals feel scattered at random, so going in and out is extremely disorienting. And there's no mini-map, leaving you to rely on the arrow, but the arrow isn't even really reliable because sometimes you might have to go around the portal and sometimes you have to go through it. And that's not even it. Both sides of the portals go to different places, so if I want to get good at this place, I need to make a chart or something. I desperately need it. If I'm being honest, I don't think you need the portals, but it makes it so much faster. Last up is Retroville. Okay, bear with me. We've had Bubble City, Portal City, and Retroville is Obstacle City. There are so many things that will fuck your car up, and Retroville couldn't care any less because it's a piece of code and assets. If you start off well, you didn't really start off well. Immediately you'll have to deal with the train, and it does a good amount of damage. Matter of fact, a lot of the things in this level exist just to ruin your day, like the aliens. I don't think they should be taking up the entire width of the road. It feels like I just have to take the damage. There wasn't a time where I wasn't dragging my broken down car to the finish line. In addition to all of that, the pathing of this level is malicious. You can end up backwards if you choose the wrong route, like I said earlier, and then there's a straight up dead end. Go that way and you have to turn all the way back. Sure, Dimsdale was confusing, but this is malicious. This is the kind of level you map out in free play. Well, that would be the case if the AI was any good. I talked about the 4 stages and I think that's where I'll end it. There's really not much to go over with this game past the gameplay and the levels. There is a quick race mode, but all that is that you get dropped into a random spot on the stage and you race through super randomly placed checkpoints. There's also a minigame mode that has a different objective based on the stages, but they're not really fun past the first time playing. And the llama one was pretty funny though. The characters look as good as they could in this type of game, and I genuinely like the different vehicles all the characters ride. They're very distinct and easy to distinguish from each other. My opinions about this game are mostly front-loaded, but I will say that it would have been cool if there was a multiplayer for this game. I think all the jank would lend itself well to playing with multiple people, though it's fun with friends is a pretty cop-out statement, but I don't care, it's true. Anyway, what did you guys think? Have you played this game before? Any other games I should check out? Let me know in the comments because I do read them all. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe because it does help a lot. And before you ascend to the heavens by way of bubbles, have a good day.